Hey everybody, this is the Review Revolution coming at you with a wrap-up of the DC Universe Wave 6 collection. So just a chance to kind of take another look at all the characters, see them all together, and take a look at Kalibak. So starting with the first one, which was, the first one in the review was the Captain Marvel, who, of course, had a great backstory, a great origin history, as far as being from the Fawcett Publishing and eventually getting licensed over to DC, and then DC taking the character and bringing it into their universe with still maintaining his original roots. A great kind of homage to his beginnings, and something that I really credit DC a lot for. So, hopefully you'll take some time and look into some of the other characters. You might be surprised what you find. Now, of course, every wave has kind of its rivalries, has its arch nemesis, has its two opposing characters. Kalibak seems to fit that category with Hawkman, Mr. Miracle, Superman, several of them. But as far as the included characters, the official characters in the wave, that's not the Build-A-Figure or the Collect and Connect, I had to say that Superman with Captain Marvel was that kind of rivalry, because of the fact that they were kind of created. Captain Marvel was Fawcett's version of Superman, and of course, Superman actually came with his variant in the red and blues. After Superman, we did get to the very interesting, if not popular, but interesting Killer Moth. Now, say what you will about the character, say what you will about the way he looks, he is interesting. I hope everyone had a chance to watch those videos from the Batgirl introduction to the Adam West show, because that, along with his appearances in the cartoon, the more recent day appearances, it's come a long way. He's definitely improved, but it's something where, as far as figures go, that's the comic accurate one, and certainly one that I do like having on display. He's just a really interesting one to have out. After Killer Moth was another great winged hero, and probably the big one for the line. I mean, even with Superman being out, Hawkman was probably one of the bigger ones that I think people were probably chasing after. And even though he's been beaten up and messed around with, and though his story has really kind of been turned upside down and inside out, Hawkman has maintained himself, his character, his design. He's looked the same for many, many years, and the Four Horsemen and Mattel did a great job bringing that appearance into the figure. So, again, hats off there. Really, really great character. I did mention that I am a big fan of the story of the New Gods. Mr. Miracle, who was a player in that story, as well as his variant, who actually is a different character, Dr. Impossible. Not big fans of them exactly. They're players in the story, but I'm not big fans of them. So, they were in the wave, and they're nice to have, but I'd say, for me personally, it does turn out that they're probably the ones I care least about. I don't really care much about them. But with the torso piece from Killer Moth, the leg from Superman and from Hawkman, and then the arms from Dr. Impossible and Mr. Miracle and Captain Marvel had the leg, Superman has the arms, Hawkman had the other arm, and then Mr. Miracle and Dr. Impossible had a leg apiece. There we go. With them together, we do have the completed Kalibak. And as you can see, though he is the Collect and Connect figure, he's not much bigger than the others. He is just in scale, just right with the rest of them. From the torso up, with his arms being as long as they are, and his body just being so huge, you would expect him to be much, much bigger. But of course, he's got the stumpy little legs, which is just the way he appears in the comic. So again, he fits in just great. On his face, we can take a look. He's got that kind of snarling growl look to him. He's got kind of the dark side brow, taking after his dad there. They've left enough clearance in the head so that it actually does have a little bit of movement, and it can twist a little bit. Not a whole lot, but then again, it's Kalibak. I don't really imagine he turns his head much, except he kind of hunches over and turns. On his arms, he does have the full articulation: shoulder, bicep, elbow, and the whole glove, not just the wrist, but the whole glove. He has a crunch joint, but it doesn't really work. He doesn't really have a crunch that works real well. Does have a twist of the waist, and that's something that I was going to get to. That left arm definitely has a problem staying in place. So I'm hoping it's just on mine. If you guys have him, maybe you can comment. But this left arm definitely seems to not necessarily always want to stay in place very well. His legs, they do come out and out again. Twist, knee, and foot. So the checklist of articulation, all good. The sculpt on him, very nice. Got all the shag on him. Got the tattoo on his arm. The folds in his suit. Everything looks real good. And the paint application is good too. The one thing I'll say is this wave has a lot of yellow in it between Captain Marvel, Mr. Miracle, and with Kalibak here, and yet it all seems to be very nice. Nothing really, really bad. Killer Moth seems to have the worst with his candy cane striped pants, but that's about it. He does, just like Hawkman and Mothman, have a weapon that actually has a holster, which is the clip that goes on the side. So, going into the one arm that doesn't stay all that well, we can display Kalibak in his very mean and moody kind of look. Or maybe not. I think the left leg seems to be a bit weak too. So that's probably something. Now that I can probably fix with a little bit of nail polish. That I'm not real worried about. The issue with the arm, that will take a little bit more doing. But that's been a look at DC Universe Wave 6 collection. Really good. I definitely recommend picking it up. It's just not too expensive. It's probably one of the cheaper waves that's still out there. We're up to 100 subscribers, a little bit more than 100. Got a little bit further to go, but once we hit that 500 mark, we're going to go ahead and give away that DC Universe Wave 10 Batman and Joker. And then at 500 after that, at 1,000, we're going to be doing the DC Universe Wave 10 complete set on card to someone. So tell your friends, subscribe, have them join. Let's try and get up to 1,000 so we can have that drawn. Stick around. There's some really great stuff coming up. But for now, this has been the Review Revolution saying rate, comment, subscribe, join the revolution, and I'll see you next time.